What are your expectations of our police chief and our fire chief?
They're both, the fire chief and the police chief, hired to protect the citizens of Cedar Key and to keep us safe. And that's what I really expect from the two of them. I had a good conversation with both of them, actually, at different points in time this past week, and got a very good feel for how they perform their jobs and how difficult it is at times and how many other things they do over and above what they have been hired to do. So my goal is to help them as much as I can in my position, to continue to work effectively and hopefully to make it a happy family kind of a environment.
How many commission meetings have you attended?
About 3.
Other than commission meetings, where do you get your information about city issues and city concerns?
From a various number of places, from the Cedar Key News, when the website is working effectively, from there. I also happen to be fortunate to work with one of the commissioners at the Chamber of Commerce, so there's opportunities there to not only share information with her, which I understand will change if I am elected, but also people that walk in from the residents, as well as people that walk in just speak to her about particular city matters and things like that. Then I've had an opportunity to go with her around the island to see all the environmental types of things that we are doing. So,
what is your motivation for running to be a commissioner? Your motivation?
Well, I really have gotten myself entrenched in Cedar Key. It's now my new home. I really love it. I've met a lot of people because, like I said, I'm at the Chamber of Commerce, so that gives me an opportunity to meet the business folks as well as residents and visitors. And I really feel that with the experience that I have, both in private industry and government agency, that I can add value to the way that we go about performing our duties, planning, organization, scheduling, those kinds of things that I had to do on a day-to-day basis as part of my job in the past. And maybe I can, and I think my ability to communicate with people, because I like people.
How familiar are you with the laws of Cedar Key?
I'm going to be learning more details about the laws of Cedar Key as I get closer and closer to the position and actually get elected, if I get elected.
What do you know about the Community Redevelopment Agency?
Not very much. I have to be honest with you. But if I know where to go to get the information, I can certainly do that. So,
what do you perceive that the community wants from their local government?
Oh, it's various types of things. And I think that's one of the things I've been thinking about is how do you navigate through a lot of people's desires, because they're not all the same. They're unique as the individual. So primarily I think that everyone wants to keep us safe, healthy, and to retain as much of the charm of our island. And not change is inevitable, but I think we can manage change, so that's really what I look at.
Due to the Cedar Key's increasing popularity and the concomitant problems that come with huge numbers of visitors, do you think it's time that the city started using surveillance cameras?
Oh. I don't see that in the near future. And I say that because we're very fortunate in that we don't have a lot of crime. We have minimal crime. So, and most of our entertainment and things are outside in the fresh air and on the water. I'd have to study the pros and the cons of having that kind of thing put up before I could even answer one way or another. But those are my first thoughts.
Okay, great. M-Cores, the toll road. Do you think that M-Cores would be a benefit to Levy County and Cedar Key, or cause uncontrolled growth in the rural and conservation areas?
I'd say it would cause uncontrolled growth in the conservation area. One of the things that we use at the chamber when we're talking with people about red tide and things like that is a map of Florida, and it shows the areas of concentration of population as opposed to how free of that we are. And it points to the fact that overabundance of people and fertilization and runoff is what's causing, in this instance, we were causing red tide, and why our waters are so much cleaner and pristine, and why we don't have that issue. So that's something we have to work to keep. And I think the toll road would be counterintuitive to that.
Thank you. Which of the following topics is most important to you, and why? Which is most important to you, and why? Sea level rise, climate change, flooding, real estate taxes, or taxes?
I think the sea level rise and the climate change, especially this in the last few days, we've seen how, I guess you might want to call it a king tide, but we're getting those much more often, and how the water was coming up onto 3rd Street, onto 1st Street, and I don't remember it 6 years ago when I first bought my house and started coming to visit Cedar Key, but I think that's a real issue, and how we're going to manage our erosion and our boundaries, I guess.